Good morning, Facebook. I'm going to give it just about 30 seconds so that people can start to tune in. And as you join, whether you're joining live or on the replay, please let me know in the comments so I can say hi to you. Let me know where you're joining from. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions today. And my intention is that you'll engage with me and give me some feedback so I can really support you. And I'm actually going to share my screen and just give you a little bit of training, a mini training, really, just a kind of a tool that I want to share with you that is part of what I teach and has been the overwhelming tool, pieces of it that I've been using to answer questions and address fears and all of that right now. And I do this mostly through email with people reaching out to me that aren't my clients, right? Because when you are my client, you're already doing these things and you know these things and you've progressed and we have some tools built into our coaching. But for those of you who don't have a coach right now, who don't have support, who don't have a community, a really tight-knit community of support, those of you who are dealing with fear, with worry, with uncertainty right now, I want to make sure that I can support you. And so that's what I've been doing through email with people. And so what I'm going to do today is I want to share with you, not sharing names, but share with you some questions that I've been getting and share with you kind of what the overwhelming answer is. It's almost like one answer to everything right now. So as you get on, and if you know somebody else in the group, good morning, Catherine, Isidro, Jill. I tagged some people that I know who like to join live, but if there's other people in the group that go ahead and tag them now so that we can bring them into this conversation. So I want to read to you, let me just pull up my notes. I copy and pasted a couple of things. First of all, before I even get into that, what's on your mind right now as we're in the thick of the coronavirus, as we're about to go into the plateau, they say, and I was listening yesterday to one of the lead doctors and researchers, and they say we're going to, things are going to plateau, right? We're going to have a tough week, things are going to plateau, and then they're looking at people moving back into society, right, in May, and then June and July, everything kind of being back to quote unquote normal in terms of us being able to be at events and different things like that. So that is coming up sooner than later. And so I'm just curious, what's on your heart? What's on your mind right now? Are there specific worries that you have in your personal life? Are there questions that have been coming up for you? A lot of the questions that I'm getting are around people really asking, what is it that I really want to do with my life? Right? The coronavirus has slowed people down to really look inward and ask of themselves, am I doing what I want to do? Am I focused on the things that really matter? People are asking, what are my gifts? What am I really good at? And that question is coming because I've been saying to people, get out there and lead with your gifts, what is unique to you. And so it's kind of had people start asking themselves, what is it that I'm great at? What is it that are my God-given talents? How can I help others? And am I already doing in my life, whether it's personal or professional, the things that really matter, right? Like people are asking themselves real life and death questions, right? Because they've been faced with these fears. So I want to know, if you're on here, don't just watch, please share in the comments maybe a question, a fear, or a concern that you have. Who's going to be the leader? If you're on here right now live, Catherine, Isidro, Jill, I can't see who else is on live, but I see there's about 5 or 6 of you right now. So share something in the comments so that the rest who are watching can see that they're not alone. Okay, so what I want to share with you as you're sharing with me and the viewers, is some questions that I've been getting from people. My email inbox has been flooded. I have on my list of the 2 priorities that I have today. One of those is make sure I respond to everybody in my inbox. I made a commitment that I would respond and get people answers within 5 days or less. And I've been doing that. And it's been amazing. I love this opportunity to connect and support people who maybe I haven't in the past, who haven't had an opportunity to work with me or anything like that. So here's some of the questions that I'm getting. What does it mean to feel happy? Like, think about that. What does it mean to feel happy? Right? So that is a really profound question. My response had to do, with more or less, it's up to you to define it. But as this person and I got to communicating back and forth, what it really came down to, the question that he was really wanting to uncover is, am I doing things because I'm supposed to, or I think that's what people expect of me, or am I doing what I really want? Right? And that's where his question is, what does it mean to feel happy? Okay. And so I'm going to give you a list of questions that I've been getting, and then I'm going to show you how the overwhelming response to all of this is pretty much the same. Okay. Another question I got from someone is, am I going fast enough, or do I need to slow down, or am I going fast enough or slow enough? Like, how do I know that I'm making decisions quick enough? How do I know if I need to slow down, right? There's people always talking about slow down, work more, don't lose momentum. So another question is, how do you figure out what it is? How do you figure out what it is that is your thing to do, right? I've been working on my website, and this is the person who's doing their art, and they've been wanting to sell it. And I know from this person that she's been like halfway doing these things, right? And so she realizes that this is the time, like if she doesn't actually get those things done, she realizes that the reality is she was faced with her fear of like, crap, am I ever going to really do it? Right? So she admitted to me, today I'm doing yard work to avoid making choices about this business that I want to launch. Right? And so she was showing how she's resisting actually the thing that it is that she says she wants to do. And so she's questioning, like, why am I getting distracted? Why am I not getting this done? Why am I fearing putting this out? All of these questions, right? So the things that are going through people's head right now are, am I making the most of this time, right? All these questions around how to use your time right now that have you questioning and looking deeper into your purpose, right? It all comes down to one thing, right? So I had some other questions here. I want to focus on my health and my fitness. I know this is the time to do it because I don't have these other distractions, yet I still haven't done it. I don't know where to begin, or I start to do it and then I stop. Another email I got here that I got from 2 different people is basically they're saying the most important thing for them to do right now is to find their purpose and to level up. So all of these sound like different questions, right? And I'm going to look at the ones that you've put in here. Getting focused on what matters to ready myself as I'm gaining greater clarity. Even though I have more time and other distractions appear, working on seeing the opportunity to practice focus. Okay, so all of this, these are all, the answer to all of these really go back to one thing. It all comes down to, no matter if this is during the coronavirus, a personal crisis, something else that comes up in your life, because ask yourself this question as you're still watching. All of these things that are coming up in your mind, and maybe you can relate to the questions that I'm sharing that other people have sent me emails about. All of these things have been problems for you before the coronavirus. Would you agree? So Jill, you posted these questions here, and would you agree that those have been things you've also been challenged with before coronavirus? right? So all of these things are things that you've already been dealing with. When there's a crisis, when the crap hits the fan, when all of a sudden you're up against a wall and you have less choices, it just gets more heightened, and it's put into your face like, oh my gosh, this is the result of, or you know, this is really magnified now, the result of me not having dealt with this before, right? So the answer to all of this is, it all comes down to, in one way or another, as I was responding and supporting these people who were asking these questions, it all comes down to you having the tools daily, not just a concept. It's not enough to just know something in theory, right? To just bounce around and get different, motivational messages from people. That's not enough. You know how they say showing up is half the battle? No, it's not. It's not half the battle. How many times do you like show up and then you don't do anything? You show up by hiring a coach or a trainer, joining a gym, signing up for an online course, even free ones that you never complete. Showing up is not half the battle. It's not anything. Anybody can just show up, right? How many times do you just show up to an event and you're just there? You have all these intentions of things that you're going to do and how you're going to apply it, and then you don't. So showing up is not half the battle. You're not even in the battle. Showing up is being a spectator. You just showed up to the game and you're sitting there in the bleachers talking about, judging the people out on the field, or saying you wish you were like them, or all the things you're going to do when you get home. But that's not what's going to get you what you want, right? So it all comes down to having the tools and using the tools on a daily basis to manage your mind and your emotions. It's all about, how do you manage your mind and your emotions? If you cannot manage the thoughts and the worries and the fears and the doubts and all the ideas, if you can't manage those thoughts that are flooding into you, then you can't focus on any one important thing. And if you can't manage your thoughts so that you can laser focus on what it is that you need to do to get where it is you say you want to be, then you're also not managing your emotions, because then as a result, you're creating more fear, more anxiety, more doubt, more frustration with yourself. So can you see how at the end of the day, it all comes down to this? The people who have gotten great at managing their mind, managing their emotions, are not in breakdown, worry, fear, panic, anything right now. They're just not. I look to all, the people that I follow, that I lock arms with, that I look up to, they're, pro athletes, people who are leaders in mindset and leadership and personal development. All of them are talking about the same thing that I'm talking about. And it's this ability to manage and control what you can control. When you've practiced that, when you've embodied that, you don't just have it as a concept. You guys hear what I'm saying? When you don't just have it as a concept, but you actually have the tools and the ability, because of your practice, everything takes practice. When you've ingrained that into your daily life and into your way of being, and you've started to collect evidence that you can be the eye, how do you say it? The calm in the eye of the storm, right? In the center. When you've developed that, none of this freaks you out. So how do you get there? I mean, this is the foundation of everything I have ever taught. So what I want to share with you really quickly, I'm going to do a screen share, and I want to share with you something from my mindset method, from my Get Set method. And let me do that now and see if it pops up on the screen. You should see a graphic here. Oh, thanks, Isidro. He says, your program is long-lasting results. Isidro worked with me last year. You guys, you can't see my screen? Oh, there it goes. Okay, I'm on delay. So this is a graphic and a concept That is the foundation, a foundational piece of what I teach in my mindset method. It's like a 4-week process. Some people are done in 2 to 3 weeks. An online, modules that I put together. This is literally how I manage my mind. This whole method, and Isidro, you learned this method. Any of my other clients who've been on here have learned this method. In fact, I just got an email from someone yesterday who said, can you give me access again to the Get Set method? Because she took it last year. She said, I need it now more than ever. And so this is where I started realizing that what people need right now is not another like strategy or tactic or quick fix. It's like, how do you really embody these things that all leaders, that all successful people, that all the people you look up to and admire in times of crisis that are leading from the front, this is what they have embodied, right? Tony Robbins talks about it. I trained under Tony Robbins for a year. He talks about it. Tim Grover, your top athletes, all of these people, they talk essentially about the same thing. Dr. Leaf, if you've ever, you go follow Dr. Leaf. She's all about neuroscience and the brain. She's also a woman of faith. It's really amazing how she integrates the two and shows the science between what you believe and how that affects the results in your life. So it all comes down to, you've got thoughts flooding into your mind on a daily basis, like thousands of thoughts a day. The thoughts that you decide to grab onto, those 1 or 2 or 3 thoughts that you grab onto and you start to repeat and talk about, and that you just hang on to, right? So maybe you're watching the news, and so you start to have this fear about money, and the stock market and all of that. So your thoughts are all around the fact that there's, going to be a money crisis, and that's what you're thinking about. Well, what science has proven is that a thought that you continue to hang on to, right? Because think about the thousands of thoughts that come in. Oh, there's a bird, or I should go to the gym. Then all of a sudden that thought's gone because you haven't hung on to it. You've let it go. The thoughts that you continue to hang on to and give more energy to, it becomes a belief. It becomes a belief. It starts as just a thought first. Maybe you hear it from somebody else, right? Like a lot of our beliefs that we developed came from how we grew up and the things that we heard over and over again and were told, right? We end up finding, and a lot of people, when they go through my method, most of the time, when they go through the Get Set method, they realize, oh my gosh, because we do a deep dive into all your specific current beliefs, they realize, oh my gosh, this belief wasn't even mine. I adopted this at a certain age, etc. So what happens is the things that you think about over and over again, is this making sense to you guys, becomes what you believe. And as soon as you solidify it as a belief, you start to go out there and talk about it. You back it up with your language. You find other people who back up your belief, right? And you go out there and you you make speeches about it. You tell everybody else why this is right and why theirs is wrong. It's why people will always have different opinions about religion, politics, health, nutrition, all of that, right? Because you have decided to believe something that you gave a lot of focus to, and then you go out there, back it up with your language. Look at what's going on in the middle. It's your feelings, your emotions, all of that happens. What you end up feeling, whether it's excitement, pride, joy, panic, fear, worry, depression, those feelings happen as a result of what you have turned into a belief and then have reinforced with verbal, nonverbal language. Your feelings come after all of this. And most of the time, what I'm seeing from people is they think that their feeling is first. I'm afraid, I'm depressed, I can't get out of this feeling, I don't have motivation, And they think it's the feeling that's controlling them. And it's not. It's the thought that you've decided to focus on that is controlling you and is creating those feelings. So And I know this right now looks kind of like a concept. Inside of my program, it's something that you work on daily with exercises, with videos, with coaching with us. It's all included in that program. And as a result of working on those things, dissecting them and doing what we call rescripting, reaffirming, all of these little pieces without giving, a ton of stuff into it. Those are the practices that you start to embody on a daily basis that have you come through whatever it is that you're dealing with. It has you take control of your thoughts and therefore your emotions. Let me ask you a question. Whatever overwhelming emotion you've been having lately, whatever overwhelming emotion, and let's just say it's been anxiety because of what's going on. Ask yourself, what have I been focused on? What have I been thinking about the most? Like if you can write it down, what have I been thinking about? And as you make your list of what you've been thinking about, maybe you've been thinking about the economy, maybe you've been watching news and so you've been thinking about death, like just dump out, what have I been thinking about? And then ask yourself, when you look at what you've been focused on and thinking about on a regular basis, can you see how that directly correlates to how you've been feeling? The answer is going to be yes. And then the next step is, if you want to stop experiencing that emotion, maybe you don't. Maybe you want to continue feeling fearful and afraid. I don't think that you do. So if you want to experience another emotion, how do you think you do that? You've got to shift what you're focusing on. So for those of you who are struggling with managing your mind and with managing your emotions, trust me, until you can ingrain a way of being and have the tools to really, and this is the time, right? Think about it. When are you ever going to have this concentrated time at home without other distractions, right? Like turn off the TV, right? I still know what's going on. I only watch the news, every few days, right? So what would happen if you took this focused time to really work on and commit to, you know what, I am going to adopt tools. I'm going to practice tools that will actually have me completely prepared for anything that comes my way, because more stuff is going to come your way. This won't be the last national crisis or global crisis. Think about when we had 9/11. That was shocking, right? Look where we are since then, right? So there will be something else. There will also be many other things in your personal life. I've shared numerous times how in the last 3.5, 4 weeks now, I've already lost two family members, an aunt and an uncle, young. We haven't even been able to have funeral services for them, right? So like my point is, you're always going to have things come up. There's so much that you can't prepare for in terms of knowing what's coming. But when you've got this, your mind, your emotions, and all of that solid and on lockdown, and you end up in a situation like this, whether personally or globally, and you can say to yourself, all right, I got my tools. I've got my tools, and so I'm good. I know how to focus on what I can control. Listen, this is not like woo-woo. This is literally how pro athletes, I'm one of them, this is how we manage competition. This is how we manage stress. This is how we're able to drown out the noise and execute when it's go time. Right? This is how your top speakers are able to do that. This is how your top leaders, people who are out on the front line, people who are making life and death decisions. Imagine like a doctor or a surgeon who's got to make a decision, who's got to go into surgery really quickly. If that person cannot manage their ability to eliminate all noise and distractions, how are they going to actually perform what it is that they are, there to perform? So anyone out in the world who's doing anything of significance and making a real impact and doing things not just for themselves, but doing things that make a difference, a positive difference for their family, their community, their clients. It starts with this. It's a very basic foundation. You have got to be able to manage your mind and your emotions. And a lot of times you think you're doing that, but if you're only basing that on the fact that things are going your way and things are going well, then you're not managing your emotions. They're managing you. You're not managing your mind. It's managing you. If you only have a good day based on how people react to you or treat you or what's going on, then you're not managing your mind and your emotions. Outside circumstances are in control of you. Right? If you're in business and you lose your mind and you get worried and because like people start canceling or you lost a client or this happened, then you're not managing, you're not leading, you're not managing your mind and your emotions. Other people, other circumstances are managing you. When you are ready to really take ownership of your mind and your emotions, none of that other stuff will pull you off of your focus, your purpose, your bigger vision. And you've got to do this on a daily basis if you want to master this in your life. There's a reason why people come to me when they are feeling in crisis and breakdown, because I exemplify, right? And the reason I exemplify it and live it and breathe it just naturally now is because for 20 plus years, 25 now, I think, when I first started studying the mind and all of these tools and made my own method based on looking back and saying, wow, how did I create this, that, and the other? Because I came, I did a training the other day talking about how I feel like I have my PhD in adversity, right? I've built myself to become resilient through these things, not based on circumstance, not based on, what other people are doing, how they approve of me, don't approve of me, being liked, any of that. Not based on, having money all the time or having things go my way. It's how you decide you are going to be in this world for yourself and as a result for others that has you put your attention on what's important, which is this. Once you've got this foundation, then you can go out and successfully execute in your business, in your fitness, in your life. It's why, as I grew a new business last year and doubled it, and also was able at that same time to stay up with my training and turn pro in my sport, which took a ton of discipline, right? Those things don't happen just out of chance. It happens because you have become diligent. You become a pro with how you manage your mind, your emotions, and then as a result, everything else. So what I want to offer you is, if you're watching this and like, shit, that's the piece that I still am slacking on, send me a message. I put my email in the comments, jessica.perezbeebe.com. I'm going to get you into my Get Set method. We'll talk about, it's a $497 investment. If you can't afford it, I'm going to give it to you somehow. Whether I give it to you for $97 or I give it to you for free, whatever it is, start the communication with me, because I'm telling you, this will be the best couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks of your time investment in yourself, so that you have the tools. Just like Ashley emailed me yesterday and said, can you give me access again? I want to get back into the course. It helped me so much. And I feel my things coming back in, right? Like, you feel those old thoughts and things that had power over you, you feel them coming back in. And it's because you haven't really ingrained them. You haven't practiced them. You've gotten things as a concept, right? And it's like anything in life. If you don't continue with it and really get it ingrained, then, you start to lose it, right? This is what I love about fitness. You have to actually practice it every single day. You don't just stay fit, right? It's the same thing with your mind and your emotions. But what happens is it becomes easy. It becomes automatic. Like right now for me, people ask me, how do you still get all your workouts in? Because I train 7 days a week now. How do you still get all your workouts in, run your business, homeschool, do this, do that, you know, manage your clients? And it's like after years of making fitness, like practicing my fitness, practicing my nutrition, it's just a given, right? Like I work everything else around my workouts and my training, right? And that's what ends up happening with managing your mind and having these mindset tools and having these emotional tools. So this is my method. That also has with it the backing of all my trainings from Tony Robbins and my 20 years of training in quantum physics. So this is a process and a method that is proven and that I literally use this over and over and over again every single day in my life. So I want to support you with it. I want to gift it to you if that's the way it needs to get to you. If you know that is the missing piece for you right now. So send me a message and tag somebody in this group. Hopefully this will support someone right now who really needs it. Your mind and your emotions, that's the foundation of everything. Have a great, incredible day. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Jennifer, Isidro, Catherine. Yes, I will go through. Hey, Evram, I'll go through and message you, comment, and reply. Hi, Paul, hope you're still watching. And I hope to see you in a couple days. Friday, I'll be live on my Facebook page. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.